The median home price in the United States recently crossed $400,000. That's not a typo. For millions of Americans, that number feels completely out of reach. And with mortgage rates where they've been, the dream of owning a home can feel more distant than ever. But what if I told you there are places in this country and around the world where you can buy a home for under $50,000? Not a tent, not a timeshare, an actual house. Today on Atlas Uncovered, we're going to look at the top 10 places where you can buy a home for under $50,000. Before we dive in, a quick note. As with most things that seem too good to be true, there are often trade-offs involved, whether it's location, local economy, or the condition of the home itself. That said, a $50,000 house is still a $50,000 house. And for the right person, any one of these places could be a life-changing opportunity. Number 1. Detroit, Michigan. Detroit has had a well-documented rough patch over the past few decades. But here's what doesn't always make the headlines. It's one of the most affordable housing markets in the entire country, and it's slowly but steadily making a comeback. In certain Detroit neighborhoods, you can find homes listed for well under $50,000, sometimes as low as $10,000 to $20,000. Now, many of these homes do need work, but for a handy buyer or a savvy investor willing to put in some sweat equity, the upside can be significant. And Detroit isn't standing still. The city has seen genuine revitalization in areas like Midtown and Corktown, with new restaurants, businesses, and residents moving in. If you're someone who likes being part of a city's comeback story, Detroit might be your place. Number 2. Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland is another Rust Belt city that tends to get overlooked, but its housing prices are hard to argue with. Across many of Cleveland's neighborhoods, you'll find single-family homes available for $30,000 to $50,000. In some areas, prices dip even lower than that. What makes Cleveland particularly compelling is what you get beyond the low price tag. The city has a world-class healthcare system anchored by the Cleveland Clinic, a vibrant arts and music scene, and passionate sports fans who will make you feel right at home almost immediately. And with Lake Erie right on its doorstep, you're never far from waterfront recreation either. Number 3. Memphis, Tennessee. Tennessee has no state income tax, and in Memphis, your dollar stretches even further than in most parts of the state. Memphis consistently ranks as one of the most affordable housing markets in the country. Homes in the $30,000 to $50,000 range are not uncommon, particularly in neighborhoods on the city's outskirts. Beyond affordability, Memphis is a culturally rich city. It's the birthplace of the blues, home to legendary Beale Street, and the city where Elvis Presley built his legacy at Graceland. There's a reason people visit Memphis from all over the world. If you're someone who wants low housing costs without sacrificing access to music, food, and culture, Memphis deserves a serious look. Number 4. Youngstown, Ohio. Youngstown may be one of the least talked about cities on this list, but it might also be one of the most compelling for the right buyer. Home prices here are among the lowest of any city in the United States. It's entirely possible to find move-in ready homes in Youngstown for $20,000 to $40,000. The city does have its challenges. Unemployment has historically been higher than the national average, and like many Rust Belt cities, it has faced population decline. But that same population decline is exactly why prices are so low. Youngstown is also within driving distance of both Cleveland and Pittsburgh, so you're not entirely cut off from larger metro resources if you need them. Number 5. Clarksville, Tennessee. Here's one that might surprise you, because Clarksville is actually a growing city, not a shrinking one. Despite steady population growth, Clarksville has managed to maintain remarkably affordable housing prices compared to national averages, with homes available in or near the $50,000 range in certain parts of the city. Located about 45 miles northwest of Nashville, Clarksville gives you access to a bigger city without paying Nashville prices. And with Fort Campbell nearby, the city has a stable economic base that gives it a bit more security than some of the other markets on this list. If you want affordability without full isolation, Clarksville is worth exploring. Number 6. Shreveport, Louisiana. Louisiana is known for a lot of things: incredible food, vibrant festivals, and a culture unlike anywhere else in the country. What it's less known for is being one of the most affordable housing markets in the South. In Shreveport, homes in the $30,000 to $50,000 range are genuinely available, and many of them are in livable condition without requiring a full gut renovation. The city sits in the northwest corner of Louisiana, close to the Texas and Arkansas borders. It has a reasonable job market, a growing healthcare sector, and, perhaps most importantly, access to some of the best food you'll ever eat. For the buyer who wants southern charm and low prices, Shreveport should be on your radar. Number 7. Buffalo, New York. New York might be the last state you'd expect to find on a list like this, but Buffalo is not Manhattan, not even close. In fact, Buffalo is one of the most affordable housing markets in the entire northeastern United States, with plenty of homes available for under $50,000. And Buffalo has a lot going for it beyond low prices. The city has undergone significant revitalization over the past decade, with a booming food scene, renovated waterfront, and growing tech and healthcare industries. It's also worth noting that Niagara Falls is less than 30 minutes away, so you'd essentially have one of the most iconic natural wonders in the world as a neighbor. Yes, the winters are brutal, but for a lot of buyers, that trade-off is more than worth it. Number 8. Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana is located about 30 miles southeast of downtown Chicago. That proximity to one of the country's great cities is a big deal, and yet Gary's housing prices don't reflect it at all. In Gary, it's possible to find homes for well under $50,000, with some properties listed for only a fraction of that. Like Detroit and Youngstown, Gary has faced real economic hardship over the decades. The city peaked during the era of American steel production and has been working to reinvent itself ever since. But here's the thing: if you work remotely, or if you're willing to commute into Chicago, Gary gives you an extraordinary cost of living advantage. You can own a home outright for what some Chicago residents pay in a year of rent. Number 9. Palermo, Sicily, Italy. We'd be doing you a disservice if we kept this list entirely domestic, because one of the most remarkable housing deals in the world right now is happening in Sicily. Several towns in Italy, including some in the Palermo area, have made international headlines in recent years for selling homes for as little as €1. While the €1 homes typically require significant renovations, there are also legitimately affordable properties throughout the Palermo region available for under $50,000. Living in Sicily means waking up to Mediterranean weather, extraordinary cuisine, thousands of years of history, and coastline that has to be seen to be believed. There are immigration considerations, of course, and the renovation process can be complex for foreign buyers. But for the adventurous buyer willing to do their homework, Sicily may be the most dramatic lifestyle upgrade on this entire list. Number 10. Abruzzo, Italy. Italy makes the list twice, because the deals are simply too good not to mention. Abruzzo is a region in central Italy that doesn't get nearly as much attention as Tuscany or the Amalfi Coast, but that's precisely why the prices are still so low. In small towns throughout Abruzzo, properties are available for under $50,000. And unlike some of the more heavily publicized €1 programs, many of these homes are in reasonable condition and ready to be lived in. The region is stunning. You're within reach of both mountains and sea. The food is exceptional, and the pace of life is exactly what most people dream about when they imagine living in Italy. Again, navigating the purchase as a foreign buyer takes effort. But for those who are serious, it's entirely doable, and the reward can be a lifetime of living in one of the most beautiful places on earth. There you have it, 10 places where you can buy a home for under $50,000. Whether you're drawn to the comeback story of a Rust Belt city, the tax advantages of Tennessee, or the romance of owning a home in Italy, One thing is clear: affordable homeownership is still possible. You just have to be willing to look a little harder and maybe think a little differently about where home can be. What about the 10 countries that will actually pay you to live there? Watch our next video to find out.